Curling now enters the Sports Weekend spotlight.
Hi again, curling fans. Good morning, Colleen, and happy Curling Day in Canada.
Do I get a present for you for this occasion or you for me? Do we exchange gifts today?
It's in the mail.
Oh, I can't wait. I don't know if you can hear the tunes playing behind me here at the Ice Cube, but you know, when you and I are tired like this, who doesn't want a little music?
We need all the music. We need all
Welcome
the coffee.
To that curling show. We are loving the photos you guys are sending us of your swag. You all look so good.
You really do. So hello to all the curling fans across our great country and around the world. Let's just have a Saturday night house party. Send us comments, send us photos. We're just going to soak this all in, Call. But also, we're going to look forward to more pivotal curling matches inside the Ice Cube.
There's a lot of pivotal matches. And it's interesting that for Johnny and Rachel, they play 3 games in a span of 18 hours.
Right.
When you look at it in Eastern time zone, it looks like it's all on the same day. Fear not. They play this afternoon and tonight here in Beijing and tomorrow. But it is quick turnaround for them.
Can we take a look at the standings right off the top? And as we look at the standings, we'll let you know that we're going to bring in Bruce, Mike, and Joanne. They're getting in place in the booth to call the games. But look at this, Colleen. Italy at the top of the standings, and they are the first team to clinch a playoff spot, a perfect 6-0. And then, of course, you see Rachel and John at 4-2. They really do control their own destiny at this point. But what can you say about this Italian team?
Well, Stefania and Amos, everyone's surprised to see them at the top, but they shouldn't be. I'm just going to show you my standings too. Because, I mean, Amos curls with Joel Retornes on the men's team, so he'll be playing in the 4-person squad as well. They are making everything. They had a nice sizable lead on the world champs, Great Britain, until Great Britain picked away, but Italy at the end of the day still won the game, remained undefeated. And Amos said after, he doesn't know what to feel right now because they never expected to be 6-0 in this field. And that was a big loss for Great Britain, wasn't it? Because, it drops them down with Canada. And interesting days ahead.
Yeah, no kidding. Of course, at 1 a.m. Eastern time.
That was the drop it challenge.
Right. You and I are going to do that at some point throughout all of this madness. We can also tell you that Jennifer Jones is safely on the ground in Beijing. And I know the Gushu team not far behind them. I don't know if you saw this call, but Jules Ochar sending out a tweet saying this is the last tweet for a long time because they're going to get off social media. I'm sure they're going to have somebody running their account.
But it won't be the same if it's not Jules.
Right.
And I frankly don't know if Jules has a social media handler who's writing the tweets yet. So
isn't that beautiful?
I've loved what he's done because he, from day one when it was inside the house they were renting in British Columbia, Team Gushu, he showed the behind the scenes stuff like playing pool and how they were hanging out. That was really cool. Nice. Jules, the old guy, you got it, you rocked it.
Old dog, new tricks, and he has kept up with it, and he's going to be a game changer for the Gushu team, no doubt. We keep seeing people letting us know where they're tuning in from. Keep the comments, keep the questions. Like we said, we're just going to have a party. And, of course, a lot of parties playing out across this country today. Call, in fact, in my home province of Saskatchewan at Mosaic Stadium. They played a skins game outdoors today.
Crazy. How cold was that?
Very cold.
Oh. Crazy cool.
It really does warm my heart when you see all the notes that we've been getting and look at all the photos and how everybody's celebrating and what a time it is to have the Scotties and what a situation at the Scotties with Northern Ontario and New Brunswick playing in the 1 versus 2 game.
That's so awesome. I mean, Andrea Crawford and her team, but Andrea herself as a skip is world class. So wonderful to see her in that 1-2 game. And wouldn't this, it's awesome that McCarville's in the 1-2 game without a doubt. But can you imagine Thunder Bay having curled in a few Scotties there?
Wow.
Had it been a full house? I mean, I almost feel bad she's being denied that opportunity, but maybe this is the best thing for her. Who knows? But nice to see those two teams.
Nice to see. And of course, Carrie Anerson defeating Tracy Fleury to move into the semifinal and looking to become only the 4th team in history to win 3 consecutive titles. Of course, Call, you did that. Oh, okay.
Been there, done that. Don't want to do it again. That was hard.
Let's get into it. The gang's all here. Bruce, Mike, Joanne. They are in position and activated. And Bruce, I think you're wired for sound tonight, aren't you?
That's the plan. Can you hear me tonight?
We got you.
Listen, I've spent all day developing a theory just for this show, okay? And I want to share it with you and Colleen. As Colleen knows, we've worked together for years in Halifax. I watch a ton of sports, every sport, every day, and I love it. And I always pay attention to the athletes and their interview skills and their command of the language, their command of the room. I'm going to say that right now, as we exist here in 2022, there is no better interview in all of sport, than John Morris.
Great.
Okay? He says great stuff. He gives you great emotion. He takes you behind the scenes. But there's always 2 parts to this. And I want to pay tribute to my great friend Colleen. When he comes over for that 4th end break, you can see the trust in his eyes. He is looking at a 6-time Scotties champion who knows exactly what's going on in the game. Their eyes meet, and because he trusts her so much, he opens up and gives the greatest stuff ever. So this is my plea to everybody watching tonight. Watch the games and enjoy them, but watch the 4th end break and watch this chemistry between these 2 great curlers and watch what he gives. This is like great. This is Charles Barkley-like stuff. He's that good.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And we remember it from 4 years ago. He was epic. He gave me goosebumps in one of those 4th end interviews where he was like, I'm lifting this game up and I'm moving on and we are winning this game. I'm going,
Colleen, do you remember, you and I are of a certain age, we can remember Phil Esposito in 1972. I was just a kid. But when he came over after the game in Vancouver and made this legendary plea to the nation to get behind the team, that was John Morris's moment back in 2018. It was so reminiscent. And so I just wanted to say congrats to you for doing the amazing
not me, it's all
job.
John. He's so good.
It's not all John. It's not. And I got to correct you there.
Good.
You're a big part
Thank
of it.
you.
And just enjoy. And I just saw somebody, by the way, come across the bottom of the screen saying, Joanne, you're doing a great job. I'll second that. She stepped in. She did 4 games her whole life, and now she's stepping into the Olympics and just knocking it out of the park. So we're having fun.
Hey, can I jump in here for a sec? I think we all need to find someone like that looks at you the way Bruce Rainey's looking at Colleen Jones right now. I think that's really important.
Am I looking the right way? Am I looking
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, listen, very quick story. When I started at CBC, I was 27 years old in 1995. And on my very first day in Halifax, all of these famous TV people were walking by, and I was so nervous. And none of them said hi until this curling hero came in, walked to my desk, introduced herself, and we've been really, really good pals.
I'm getting all teary-eyed here. But you, Joanne, come on.
Look, that's how much I think of her. She's one of my all-time favorites. So there you go.
Thank you, Bruce. That was so nice. What do you need from me? Something for the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame. Whatever you need, buddy.
I got an email coming to you a bit later tonight with a list of demands, so check your mailbox.
This is a house party. Okay, Joanne, what are you looking forward to today?
What am I looking for today? I am looking forward to seeing Canada hopefully continue to build. They had a bit of a stumble against Sweden, but I really liked what we saw in the second half of that game against the Americans. As we mentioned, that 4th end interview, you can just see the intensity in John Morris, and he is just leaving everything out there and giving every shot, everything he has. So I think they're going to build on that. I think they're going to try to continue to puzzle out the ice. They're going to try to gain their confidence back a little bit shaky with Rachel. Some of those first shot, the draw ways, struggling with the pass a little bit. So I think it's going to be really important to see that they start strong. They build that confidence. They had a shaky game against Great Britain, and then they played 3 phenomenal games. So I'm hoping that we're kind of moving into that trend.
Mike.
Professor Mike.
I wanted to, Mike, this is a part of a bonspiel where we sort of get to see the good teams from the great teams, wouldn't you say? The pressure ratchets up to a different level. 3 games left, playoff positioning on the line. This is where you really learn a lot about where the great teams stand.
Well, yes, I think every national, international competition, we do see the cream rise to the top. Usually by the end of the round robin, uh, what is supposed to happen happens, and we're seeing it quite nicely actually in the standings board, except for Italy. Italy's kind of been the surprise of the tournament, and a pleasant surprise of the tournament. So, Canada, good news that they have their fate in their own hands. But you see there, you got Sweden, Canada, and Great Britain all at 2 losses, and those are the 3 favorites coming into this event. And nobody expected Mozana and Constantini to be at 6-0, including them. There was a great interview with Amos, and he goes, he just said something along the lines of, how's it feel? He goes, I didn't expect that we'd have 6 wins without any losses. So even they're surprised by their performance so far, but they've done the work, and they're basically into the playoffs now, and it leaves all the other 3 countries fighting for a spot. But I said, good news. We use the word we, but Canada has it in their own hands.
Well, what's really nice to see about Italy, isn't it? I mean, when it's a non-traditional curling country, Italy's curled forever. I'm not saying that, but they're a small curling country.
Yes.
And it's so easy to want to root for these underdogs because they've got great chemistry on the ice, but they're also making everything, which is good to see. They deserve to be there. They belong at the top. Amos should stop saying he didn't expect this so much, because they look like they belong.
Well, they're getting better all the time, and it's only in the most, even just this year, that they're starting to get the respect they deserve. Joel Returnaz and watch their men's team. They're fantastic.
Yeah. Bruce, which game are you guys doing today?
First one up is going to be USA
versus Czechs
and the Czechs, right? And then we take a little break, and then we have the Czech Republic, Canada, and then Australia, Canada back to back later in the day.
Oh, Aussies! That's a big kid. That's going to be a fun game, isn't it? John Morris coaches them. Good friends.
You guys got to get ready for the broadcast, but it is curling day in Canada. Let's go around the horn and maybe share a favorite memory or sentiment as we celebrate this great game, because people have been sharing photos and memories. Joe, let's start with you. You shared some great photos and what the game means to you, but let's start with you.
Yeah, I kind of stumbled into it when I was young. I like to copy.
Mute.
Oh God, welcome to the broadcast. I stumbled into it a little bit when I was young. I like to copy everything my brother did. So I got into Little Rocks when I was 7, and my favorite part about curling was the sour cream and onion chips that my dad always bought afterwards. So that's kind of when I fell in love, was getting my little treat. And then moving on, I posted a photo of me with a few of Randy Furby's team. Loved watching them when I was younger and seeing them sweep, and they really inspired me to just get involved in that way. And making those friends when you're 11 or 12 years old and getting to learn how to build together as a team is just such a special feeling. So curling's changed my life, and I'm so grateful for it and really happy to celebrate today.
Nice. Mike?
Well, there's so many, but I think to Joe's point, the big thing about curling is the friendships you build. And, I talk to a lot of people my age who have friends from school, and I just don't relate. All the people that I know are the ones I curled against in juniors or curled with in juniors. And even as I moved into kind of adult competitive stuff, those are the people that I still hang around with. And it's just obvious. And obviously curling's been really good to me. We worked hard. We worked really hard to get to those Olympic Games back in '98. And I kind of stumbled into this broadcasting show years and years ago. And I know when Joan and I started in 2001, our first game was Brad Gushu winning the Canadian juniors, if you can imagine. So to put that in perspective, I said to Joan, if we get through Torino, it'd be a pretty good run, 5 or 6 years at this. And that's now been 21 years. And I'm, again, eternally grateful and love my job. And hopefully we're doing what we need to do to bring what we want, some great results for Canada to the people of the country. So it's I'm luckier than most, and I have curling to thank for it all.
Awesome. And Bruce, final thought to you before the broadcast.
Sure. Just from a broadcast perspective, I've been so lucky to be in 2 really good places at the right time. One was to be a sportscaster in Halifax when an 8-year-old Sidney Crosby started to rise up the ranks, and to watch that was amazing. It continues to be amazing. But in 2006 in Torino, I was the guy lucky enough to be on the ice when Gushu won, and he came over, and we've been through it before, but it remains just one of the most magical moments of my life, really, to see this guy open up with such emotion. And it speaks to the sort of the greater theory that curlers are the best people in the world to talk to. I've been lucky enough to do every sport, and a lot of the athletes have handlers, and they're reserved, and they don't want to upset a sponsor. Curlers want to talk to you, and they want to make your life better as a broadcaster and share the stories. So to be able to be part of CBC's broadcast of this for so many years now has been just a wonderful part of my career. So thank you to curling, and thank you to people like Colleen and Mike and lately Joanne for the fun through the years. It's ultimately, it boils down to it's a very fun, and I know that's a goofy word, but it's a fun sport to cover.
Oh, feel good show tonight. Really great stuff, you guys. Call.
And well, that was some of the trust Bruce has with Brad during that interview, that Brad was able to be so vulnerable back in Torino all those years ago. Have a great show, you guys.
Have
Thanks,
a great
guys.
show. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
You know, they would muted my mic during that conversation, and Tom Jones, It's Not Unusual, was playing. The last time that played in an arena for me, we won the World Championship in Switzerland, and it had just been post, but we were sort of in the sidebar by the arena. We all got on the table and danced to It's Not Unusual.
Are you going to reenact that? Are you going to?
If you need me to, but I'd like Tom Jones to be singing at the same time. All right, we got a fabulous bit to keep celebrating.
We do. You know what? We've had curling fans from coast to coast to coast sending photos, sending videos, and producer Soph has worked her magic once again. Let's take a look.
I think.
Where's he going?
He's going up. Yeah, got it. You did it. You did it. Okay, Bruce, you can breathe now.
Holy smokes.
Good job. Whoop.
Really nice. Really nice. I felt the cold through that.
And yet, and yet we push on, don't we, Call?
Yeah, but great job to everybody for either sending us those videos or so finding them. So nice to see. We're so lucky in Canada to have wonderful curling rinks in every corner, small town of the country. What's that? Where do you go up north in Saskatchewan? Did they rebuild that yet?
Well, that's a wonderful point because, of course, every year back home in Saskatchewan for me in Shell Lake, Saskatchewan, there was an old two-sheeter in a Quonset, and tragically, it burnt down over the summer. You'll remember that,
Yeah.
and they held a golf tournament. They've been fundraising, and they are working on building that rink back from the ground up, and we hold a family bonspiel there every year. My birthday, December 27th. That's how we all celebrate. We were unable to do it this year, but the plan is to have it back. And isn't that what it has always been about? That the curling rink across the frozen tundra has always been a gathering place.
Yeah, it's like your second home. It really is. When you go in there, you feel just instantly like you're in your own living room. And it's been a tough go with the pandemic for curling clubs as they shut down, as they close bars, as they, either return to practice. There's so many different rules right across the country. And curling clubs, often they will have a manager and an ice maker, sometimes a volunteer. The backbone of clubs are run by volunteers. So I know this is a tough time for curling clubs right across the country, and sending you strength because it's a lot of work ahead to either recruit new members who you might lose this year, for next year, because they're like, well, I didn't even get to curl in my league play. So there's a lot of work to be done in Canada as a result of the various shutdowns and protocols that we've seen across the country.
You know what I also love about curling is people find ways to be a part of it. You might not be out there sliding, you might not be out there playing, whatever it is, there's an attachment to it, right? And I think our next guest in the house really sort of epitomizes that call. I don't know if you've seen, well, I think you've seen it.
Gosh, amazing.
Stunning artwork. I don't want to say too much about it because we're going to hear from Samantha about what she does. It is spellbinding. Welcome to the show, Samantha.
Hey. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very good. Tell us about that spectacular painting behind you. We've been seeing it on social media. How did you paint it?
So I painted it with a curling broom that I got from a few amazing curlers that I know. Yeah, that's the video. I didn't have any curling brooms, and I knew somebody named Barbara Gala that had 2 brooms that she was incredibly kind to give to me, and that she said that she retired, and so I got to use them for these Olympics to paint with.
How hard is it to paint with a curling broom?
It's hard. It's actually it's not easy. I mean, this one was really difficult because of the faces. So getting paint very detailed was hard, but getting the big marks was actually pretty easy because it was just like a sponge kind of like hitting it.
I just want to marvel at this a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the detail. How long did this take you, Samantha?
That took me about a day to do.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What, you're not just painting with curling brushes, you're using all kinds of not paint brushes to do your art. Tell us what else you're using.
So I've used a skate, I've used ski goggles, a ski, I've used, I'm trying to think of what else I've used.
Hockey puck.
A hockey puck, yes. I found a hockey puck. It was so hard to find one. Thank you. Yes, a hockey puck, ski goggles, and a ski boot. But that one was like super difficult because it's really heavy. So like to carry it around, I think I did one painting. So I was like, it works my muscles way too much to lift.
Bicep workout while you paint. Devin and I would love that.
Samantha, what do you enjoy sports? I mean, what drew you to do this in such a brilliantly artistic way with the tie to athletics?
So I've loved sports my whole life. I've played sports my whole life. And I started this last summer. So it was near the Summer Olympics. I actually injured my ankle and I couldn't really work out. I couldn't do much. And I like to find ways within like a gray area of like, I can't work out. So why don't I kind of play around with a sports ball, which I had was a soccer ball. So I can technically be physically active with it. So I started doing soccer paintings with soccer balls. And then the Olympics were around the corner for Summer Olympics. And I had a few, the like basketball, soccer ball, I had like tennis balls. So I kind of painted the Summer Olympics. Did not think it would like take off at all. And everybody loved it. And it was kind of a way for me to get through, I think, the pandemic and to just bring joy. Uh, and I continued it for the Winter Olympics, and it's been beyond. I'm still processing people's reaction.
Oh, wow. That is, I think Call's mic is still muted.
Can you hear me now?
Call.
What inspires you to make this art? I know you gave part of that answer right there, but especially when you're choosing the athletes to paint, is it, do I have the tool to do this with that's appropriate to their sport, or where does your head go with that?
Yeah, so I mean, I try to do any athletes. I wanted to support any athletes going to the Olympics. That was my goal, to support them. For some sports like curling, it was incredibly difficult because you can't really find that at a regular sports store. And especially for the Winter Olympics, I wanted to make sure the material that I'm using, it was material that couldn't be used by other people, so it had to be broken or used. And it kind of gave me this inspiration to kind of find stories within the material I'm using. So especially like with these curling brooms, where I got them from Barbara Gallant, where they have so much meaning. I've had so many stories with her about the history and what she had the history with those brooms, and I kind of wanted to respect them when I'm painting, and also kind of represent this kind of fourth dimension of people play with this, and then I'm kind of representing their relationship, and they play so much with them that I wanted to represent it in that kind of way in a painting.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Samantha. I understand we have a big reveal on that curling show.
Yes.
It's some new artwork that you're revealing for the first time. Let's look at it. Oh my goodness. Let's look at this. Talk us through it. Let's take a look.
So for this one, this was actually one of the first, this is my first painting, and I didn't know who to paint, and this one was Jennifer Jones and Barbara Gallant's favorite curler, and I just had to do her. And I found this picture online, and I felt like it really embodied the feeling that I relate to curling, and really wanted to embody that feeling of pushing that curling ball. And I think it was, honestly, I had a joy creating it.
Oh,
and who are we looking at here?
Barbara Gallant.
Yes.
Oh man,
so nice. Where can people buy your art?
Oh man, I have a website, I think SamanthaWoj.art.com, where people can email me. I'm still processing people want to buy my art, so usually writing me directly is the best. And
do you use a paintbrush at all ever?
Yeah, I do clean up little touch ups sometimes to really make it nice and concise. But yeah, I use it to clean it up most of the time, and yeah. But
what does this say about abilities?
Yeah.
Well, I have so I have 2 fingers on each hand. So I always say, basically, I live off the quote of the only disability in life is a bad attitude. And I always said that there's nothing we can't do. We can always find a way to do something we love. And this is my way of kind of representing what I do for love. And I'm kind of excited. I'm going to be working with the foundation, Can Fund, to donate a few of my paintings so I can support athletes who are in the Olympics for their future endeavors.
Giving back. That's awesome. And I don't know for you, Devin, but
I'm getting
sometimes
emotional.
Devin and I complain about, whatever, nothing. We're going to keep that quote for our everyday life.
Yeah.
Samantha, what a gift. What a gift you're sharing. And you're seeing all the comments at the bottom of the show here. You're making such a difference in Can Fund. I know very, very well. And I know what it means to the Olympians and what it fuels for their dreams. So what a gift you're sharing with everyone. And I don't know about you, Call, but I'm going to be sending Samantha a note about getting some paintings done.
Well, you got so much talent. I mean, you're a great artist. It's incredible.
Thank
Good
you
for you,
so
and
much.
thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Love your work.
Samantha, thank you
Try
so
to
much.
capture Devin and I in action.
Yes, a picture of both of you. Love it. Next project.
Samantha, yeah, thank you so much.
Have a
Enjoy
great
the
day.
games. Can't wait to see what you come up with next, and I will be in touch for sure.
Amazing. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
That
Wow,
was totally inspiring today, wasn't it? Huh? What day
What
of
a
the week?
show! What a
If you needed
show!
a pick me up, if you needed a, you
Well,
know.
I did because I gotta say, this is tough being on in the Eastern time zone, because I'm not sleeping.
Right. If it's any consolation, but I'm not sleeping much either. But
I'm with you. I am with you, Call.
together.
Together. Okay, well, listen to this. Let's end the show because we just saw Samantha's artistry and how brilliant she is. But you remember when Team Guju and Team Jones won, we got them to put their artistry to the test
Oh, I
and
love
create the Canadian flags. Let's watch how they did
Not
right
as good
now.
as Samantha.
I figured you'd have some coffee or something.
We have a test for you guys. Are you ready? Draw your best Canadian flag. Pick your weapon.
I'm gonna take red. This is a violet red.
Did you say maple leaf or the full flag?
There's no erasers on this, eh?
Oh, I don't want to say it's right there.
What are you doing?
I didn't do it bad enough. I love coloring. This is so fun.
Uh-oh. Now where do I go from here?
It won't be that good, he says.
No, I never said that.
Done. Boom.
Jeff, why should Canada vote for your flag?
Well, I mean, look at it.
Think outside the box. It doesn't have to be red.
Might be purple, but it's mine.
We're not artists, but our love is evident. I'm not done. I put the veins in the leaf.
My 7-year-old could do a better job than this.
The turkey flag.
I think this is the most proportional. Like, look at this. Come on.
I love that. And you know, they did that on no sleep because they had won the night before and they came to that session like with about 2 hours sleep of celebrating. Brad was funny. Listen, they're here. They're getting ready to practice, Deb.
Yep.
Did you hear that? First practice may begin.
May begin. Call, I noticed that on the broadcast yesterday, you sent a happy birthday on behalf of CBC and all the fans, of course, to Mark Kennedy, his 40th or 30th birthday, whatever, his 40th, of course. But of course, here in Canada, it is February 5th. So once again, a very happy birthday to Mark Kennedy.
He's ageless. If you told me, like, I know he's 40, although he joked that he's 30, but you'd think he was still 20. He's gonna when we are still doing this show and in 20 years and he's gonna be 60 and I'll be 100, and I don't know how old you'll be, but he's still gonna look that way. Darn it, he's got the fountain of youth.
Yeah, he does it, and he's really helping with the team. So we're gonna say goodbye and get ready to wind down, and of course we'll keep you up for these next few hours. And get ready for 1 a.m. Canada versus Czech Republic. And then we've got to stay up a little longer or take a nap. 7 a.m. Canada versus Australia. 2 big games. You just want to win. This is a really simple game, Call. Just win, right?
Just a simple game, but under intense pressure. So it's you can say just win, but wow. With so much on the line for John and Rachel, you can see not the stress. They don't look that at all, but the intensity.
Yeah,
it's so awesome to see the confidence. I do want to tell you, if I have time, that after that game that they won against the U.S., you know, John put his arm around Rachel to say, "You're the best," or something like that. You know, you could see, and it was those moments that John is able to elevate all the players around him if they let him.
Yep.
And Rachel has a lot of trust with John because the relationship goes back to when she was a little girl and he was a little boy. They've known each other forever. And that was a powerful moment. It wasn't just a fist pump or anything like that. It was a real moment of, I love you. I got your back and you're great. So they'll continue that today as they played 3 games in a span of 18 hours.
And I love you and I got your back and I think you're great too, Call.
I think you're great too. And I miss you.
I miss you too.
Coffee's not the same without you. And you know how disorganized I am. Oh, yeah. All right. We'll talk tomorrow. Oh, Mr. T.
Yes,
Do
Mr.
we need
T.
Mr. T on this show or what?
We want Mr. T. We're calling Mr. T.
Yeah.
Bullying is cool, you fools.
Yeah. Mr. T, who's all about Team USA, is in love with them. One of the many people across the country that just fell in love with curling at one of the last couple of Olympics. We need him on the show. That's all there is to it.
Make it
Come
happen.
on. Make it
That's
happen.
a wrap. Thanks,
Center
Soph.
of the universe.
Talk
Thanks,
to you
Soph.
later, Cole.